Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am speaking with Graham Waldrop of Graham and the Band Upstairs. The band has just released a fantastic debut single called Home to You, and I am super excited to talk to them all about it. Graham, I want to thank you so much for being flexible and the time that you could meet. I'm so happy to have you on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about the song and everything else. It's been a long time coming. We worked on this for a while, so really excited to be able to start
Surprise.
talking about it and just getting it out there. Getting
Apologize.
out there yesterday was really fun. Seeing the response to it so far has been great. So
That's amazing. Well, I want to get right into it. Like I mentioned before we started recording, I really enjoyed the song. It's definitely along the lines of something that I listen to in my personal time. So to be able to talk to you about it and kind of hear what it's all about is going to be great. So yeah, that's the first thing I'd love to know is what's the meaning behind this song? What inspired it?
yeah, it's the meaning was interesting. The lyrics kind of came to me. So I've been working on the songs that we've been putting together for this album we're trying to get out later this year. I really started working on that in earnest in 2020. And then I was driving in the car in October 2020, and these lyrics just poured into my head out of nowhere. I've never had something like that happen before. Usually I'm sitting down thinking about stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do something. But I was driving from North Carolina back to Atlanta. And I was like, I don't know. I can't pull over. I mean, I couldn't pull over and write it down, but I was like, I just grabbed my phone and just started
Yeah, sure.
doing like a voice memo into my notes and just
Yeah.
yelling all these things that came in. And so I don't really know where the lyrics came from. It was like, that they kind of chose the lyrics kind of chose me, I guess. I don't know. It was weird. But once I started to really parse through it, I really started to think about I wanted to make something that told the story of a complex relationship. And then on the backdrop of kind of like a sweeter sounding melody, I was really, the melody was really inspired a lot by, or the whole concept of the song was kind of, I guess, inspired by "Girl" by the Beatles, where it's sort of like this sweet melody, but these sort of bitter lyrics.
Totally.
And yeah, so that was kind of like the main inspiration there. Also, Bob Dylan's a huge inspiration to me, and Mississippi definitely had a big influence on this song as well.
I could fully sense that as well. I hear that I hear that all too often, where it's like, I'm sitting down and I'm trying to come up with a song, and nothing ever happens. It always comes at
Yeah,
the most unopportune time when you're driving on the highway, and you kind of just need to pull over and figure it out. Thankfully, we
yeah.
have voice notes to kind of accomplish that feat, which is really nice.
Yeah, like I really think I would have forgotten a lot of what the lyrics were if I didn't have smartphones. So I guess one of those few times where I'm like, thank God for smartphones. So
Yeah, one of the very few times. Otherwise,
yeah,
what do you think? So obviously you are Graham of the band, but I want to hear a little bit about the band upstairs. Like the instrumentals on this song are great. I assume that there's more people involved, so love
yeah,
to hear about them.
yeah. So the band is comprised of a lot of longtime friends
Nice.
who are all musically inclined. Our lead guitarist, Jeff Dei Dolori, playing a bunch of bands in Atlanta and beyond that, and he's a fantastic player. And so once he was the first person I was coming to these songs with, and he just kept encouraging me, and then I sort of roped him in. I was actually going to give him the songs to do himself because I'd never really had any musical inclination before. I just sort of
Really?
written some lyrics, yeah, and then or I had started writing some lyrics, and I was like, nah, I think I'm going to do this myself. I kept him involved, and he's been a
Okay.
huge collaborator, and he's a full time member of the band, and so that's him on the lead guitar. He's amazing. Um, Veronica Roman, I've known since 2006. Really good friend, my best friend's wife, and she's a fantastic singer. She sings with me. She's also been a huge support of what I was trying to do, and really followed along. And I asked her, "It's like I want you to sing backing vocals on a lot of these songs," and she jumped at the opportunity. Um, we have our bass player is normally Josef Bell, who I've went to school with. I've worked with for like 10 years. He's a fantastic bass player. But on this song, actually, my wife Alexa plays the bass, and she really wanted to be involved, and she's been a huge part. And she also produced the song, helped produce the song. She always we were huge collaborators throughout our whole marriage and our friendship before that. And so I wanted to find a song for her to be on, and I thought she did a great job on the bass with this. And my old college roommate Zach Strum plays the kick drum on this song, and he plays the drums beautifully on other songs. This is a pretty
Sure,
basic
sure.
part for this one. It's just he's just doing the kick drum. We sort of try to just layer that with the rest of the mix, but he's a fantastic player, great friend, and so it's really cool. It's all these people I've known for decades coming
Yeah,
together to make some music.
I
So
was gonna say, like, it not necessarily feels rare, but so many times I speak to people and it's like, yeah, I had to put an ad out on Facebook looking for drummers or bassists. Like, you're in a really
right,
great situation where not only are you creating amazing music, but you're doing it with the people that you love and that you have trusted, which I feel kind of brings a whole different element to making music as a whole.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's one of the things I always love to do is like I just want to create things with people I care about, and so being able to do it and having everybody come together
Yeah.
and really be a unit has been awesome. Hold on, my cat is
All
being
good.
silly. This is his room, so
Yeah, I
I went
feel you.
outside for a second.
My cat would do it today.
Yeah,
Just like, all right, I don't care what you're doing right now. I'm getting in or I'm
yeah,
getting
exactly. But yeah, that's one of the things I was kind of reflecting on yesterday is how cool it is to just make music with people you really know, and it makes the whole process just a lot easier because you can.
yeah.
There's no really feeling out. I mean, we feel out the music a lot in terms of iterating upon the
Sure.
music, but in terms of our interpersonal relationships, those are really well established. So
In terms of like steering the ship in artistic direction, is that you? Like, did you pick the sound and the genre, or was that a
yeah,
collective?
yeah, yeah. I kind of steered the ship in all respects there, but everybody comes to the table with a lot of ideas.
Right.
Um, Jeff really was able to find that acoustic. Yeah, I knew the sound I wanted for him to do, but he was able to really go deeper and really work on finding what the lead guitar should sound like. Veronica and I worked on how the vocals should function in the song for months. So I mean, like and Alexa did a really good job of figuring out the bass part. I did demos for all these songs, so I sort of laid everything out and I had ideas how all the instruments should sound, but everybody does a great job of being collaborative and coming to the table with a lot of ideas. So
Got it. And I
yeah,
say this in the most like complimentary way possible. I think that this song pulls from a ton of different styles and genres and influences. Obviously, it feels as though it's rooted in Americana, but there's also a ton more going on instrumentally. I could sort of want to hear from you, like, what's the elevator pitch for this song? For someone that hasn't heard it, what can they expect to hear?
they didn't expect to hear a melody that really grabs them initially. Like we really wanted that the first couple seconds to be something like, oh man, this sounds really really cool. I want to see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of, I really wanted to have just an ebb and flow to it. This is not a great elevator pitch, by the way, but we really wanted to have an ebb and flow to the musicality where the verses are, sort of vibing with it, and then the chorus kind of takes off, and you sort of have this sort of flying ethereal feel almost to it, and then it sort of comes back. It sort of captures the nature of the story we're trying to tell about this really complex relationship and the ebbs and flows of it. Not even necessarily how sometimes things are good, things are bad, but it's sort of like I don't know. Nothing is very few things are in stasis in this relationship, and the song is not in stasis. So it was just
Oh,
trying to make sure that the music is always moving in a certain direction,
right.
sort of thing, and then combine that with these lyrics. And so what my hope is that people are able to listen to it multiple times and get something new out of it every time. Or maybe not every time because I don't think it's like that re-listenable if
No,
that's a word, but you can listen
I,
to it I think 3 or 4 times and always pick up on something new and see how the music and the lyrics really mesh together.
totally. No, that's actually, I'm so happy you said that because I literally have it in my notes right here saying, like, you could go through the song multiple times and experience new things. I'm not joking. Because the first time around, I felt myself gravitated to the lyrics. It felt
Mm,
very introspective in a way. Like, I don't know, the tone of the vocals, it kind of like slowed everything down in the world where you're just humming along on every line. But the second time through, my focus shifted to the instrumentals where, yeah, it kind of takes you on like this adventurous journey. And so, yeah, this song is fully multifaceted and diverse, and I think that's kind of what makes it stand out. Also serves as just a great debut single to kind of prepare you for what to expect. And I know that you have this record that is currently in the works. Hopefully, going to come out by this summer would be fantastic. But
Yeah, that's
can
our goal.
we? Yeah, you never really know nowadays.
Yeah.
Can we expect more songs in a similar vein? I don't want to like make you say too much, but I would love
Mhm.
to know that.
Yeah, there's one other song. Actually, there's two other songs on here on this album that are of a similar vein. That's they're also in the same key. So yeah, there's
Okay.
two other songs that are similar, very acoustic based. Um, so yeah, there will be more songs on the record like that. But the rest of the album also kind of has more of a blues influence. It gets a little grungy sometimes too. One of the things that I really tried to do with this, want to do with all these songs is try to make sure every song has its own identity, as much as possible. So I never wanted to be like, I'm just gonna make a straight acoustic album, or
Sure,
anything
sure.
like that. So we really try to make sure every song stands on its own and every song tells its own story.
Makes sense. Okay, and so considering like I would say that you're primarily a songwriter, is that correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a new project. This is like very emerging. Is there something that kind of pushed you over the edge to finally get it going? Was it all the time down in the last 2 years, or was it just something that you've always wanted to do?
I never wanted to get into this really. I always loved music, but I never saw myself making music. I didn't really start seriously playing guitar till like maybe 2020, really maybe late 2019.
Nice.
It was something where I've always, I've been an independent filmmaker for a while, and then when COVID happened, there was just nothing to do, and then I just got more into to music, and it just kept going and going and going. And I don't really know what pushed me over the edge. It was just one of those things where anytime I wanted to do something creative, most of the time I'm gravitating towards picking up the guitar and learning something new, and then just started writing. I think one of the things I've always, I've been saying repeatedly through this is story, story, story. I've always been a
Right.
storyteller, so it's just a new way to tell stories. That's
Totally.
all I really want to do is just tell stories. So this is just my next medium to sort of try and do that with.
I mean, honestly, from a COVID standpoint, it makes sense more than anything. You can't just keep making short films inside your apartment or house or whatever. But you can always
Yeah,
pick up a guitar and noodle around and figure it out. And I think it's
yeah,
one of the best solo activities.
yeah. It is, and it's yeah. You don't need anybody else when you're just learning stuff,
No.
which is cool. I mean, filmmaking. I mean, we made feature films and
Sure.
TV and stuff like that, and it's such a pain in the ass to do that. It takes so much time and effort. I love doing it. I still want to
Yeah.
keep doing it, but I don't know. There's something. Music can come together a little faster. You don't need as much money. You don't need as many people. And
True.
you can still try to make something really cool. So um, yeah, I think around like the middle of 2020 was when I was just like, all right, I'm sort of diving headfirst into this.
Yeah. That's
So
when we're all like, okay, I've watched all the shows. I've cleaned the house enough times. Like,
yeah,
I need to do something creative. Fully get it.
yeah, and it was cool too. COVID was awful, still is
Sure.
awful, but you know, it's so weird to say like one of the best things that could have happened was me getting laid off and just having 6 months to just immerse myself in
Yeah.
this world. So
The world works in mysterious ways. We'll never really know
yeah.
the true answers. So I obviously you've got this one song out. There's plenty more on the way. Is there any maybe even tentative plans for you guys to play live? Is it something that you'd even want to do?
Yeah, no, we played live a couple of times.
Oh,
We
okay,
did our
nice.
last show. Yeah, our last show was in December. We need to get back on playing live this year. We're actually going back to the studio to record more next weekend. So we've just been really focused on
Gotcha.
getting these next. We're recording 3 more songs, so we're really just been focused on that. So we haven't done any more live stuff since then. But I'm hoping in March we're going to start getting back on the road, and I say the road with air quotes because we're just going to be probably playing some shows in Atlanta, but
Hey,
where we're based.
technically, yeah, there will be a road involved. So
Yeah, but we've been really enjoyed playing live so far. We've only had 2 shows, but we really like it, and we definitely want to do it as much as we can.
totally. Is there an unreleased song that you're most looking forward to either being released or playing in a live setting?
Yeah, I think we played this song live on both our shows, but there's this one song we have that's it's a bluesy as hell song called "The Oak." It's 8 minutes long, which is a little
Oh,
crazy,
damn.
but I think it's collectively the band's favorite song, and it's one of the songs we're going to record this next weekend. So we're really looking forward to people hearing that. But it's a really cool journey, and
Yeah.
it's hope. I mean, in our mind, it's a banger. So hopefully, other people think it's a banger too. But it's totally different from this song. Very very different, and instrumentally especially. I mean, this thing really we try to bring the house down with it.
I mean, yeah, 8 minutes. It better be pretty entertaining. I'm
Yeah,
sure it
yeah,
is.
exactly. It's like we have a lot of ebbs and flows in it. A lot of it's definitely like our most diverse song musically, I would say. So
Okay. Well, I'm looking
yeah,
forward to hearing it when the time comes. I've got a few more for you. I want to
sure.
know because I think we're still very much at the top of the year here, and we've covered a few of the things that are in the works. But are there any like real lofty goals that you guys would like to collectively hit, hopefully by year's end?
Yeah, we definitely want to hit this. We definitely want to finish this album.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we set out to do originally. We
Okay.
it was one of those things that it was like I was like, yeah, I really want to record an album. That was like getting everybody together. But then it sort of became, oh man, we're actually like really all enjoying this. So we started to like just put more time into it, doing live stuff, now and everything else. So it's sort of like I think the first goal is to finish this album. I think that's number one. But yeah, there's no really other like super lofty goals or anything. I think it's just one of those things where we're just trying to make the best music we can, and hopefully everything else takes care of itself. I don't know what that means, but it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're just out there doing our thing.
Yeah.
So as long as we finish this album and put it out in the summer, then I'm feeling pretty good. But we definitely want to get more shows. We just want to just stay as active as possible
Totally.
with the
And
music.
I think, yeah,
You know?
in the music industry, there is almost no planning. Like, there's planning to a fault. Things happen on a day to day basis and like a week by week basis, but it's hard to plan ahead of that because you really never know what's going to happen, especially
Yeah,
now things are consistently changing.
yeah, definitely.
Now, in terms of like actually making music, do you find that you actively avoid trying to listen to bands that influence you while making music, or does that have no effect on you at all?
That has no effect on me. If anything,
Okay.
it kind of helps. I mean, that's sort of how I learned about music, was just studying the people I really love. Bob Dylan, Neil Young, in particular, are just their influence is just all over my music, and I try to you know not be so beholden to them to the point where I'm like, oh my god, I'm ripping this off or anything.
Of
But
course.
just studying the way they write music and lyrics is just had such a huge influence on me. So no, I constantly listen to that stuff. But I also like to just get out of my comfort zone too. I try to seek out things I don't know, people I don't know,
Yeah.
genres I don't listen to as much. I've been really trying to get more into hip hop more recently. I mean, I've always kind of loved hip hop, but
Yeah.
especially recently, I've just been diving through tons of really old school '90s stuff, and I've really really enjoyed that. So I'm always trying to keep my mind open to other genres and other artists.
Anything stick out in that realm that you'd like to recommend?
Yeah, I mean, like I think um, Rakim is great. Really been listening to a lot of Rakim. Um, I've been through. I had like a Eminem binge for some reason from
That's
like
so funny. I've
in December.
honestly been having the same. It's the weirdest thing in the
Yeah.
past month. I don't know what it is, but
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
funny.
I
I
swear.
went through like the whole thing, and I've always liked Eminem, but now I'm like I feel like I know the guy at this point.
It's a very personal event.
Yeah,
That's how he makes it.
yeah. Dr. Dre. I've always loved
Sure.
Dr. Dre. 2001, I think, is like the
Yeah,
best. One of my favorite It's like a top 10 album for me. Like there was a year, I think 2011, I listened to that album every day for like 6 months on loop. Like I didn't
that's
listen to anything else.
awesome.
It was ridiculous.
There's
So yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
those folks stand out to me.
Amazing. Graham, I have one more question for you. And the question is basically for the person that is going to discover you guys from this, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them before they listen to your music for the first time?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Um, Gosh, I never really thought about that before. I guess what I would say would be, you know, number one, hope you're entertained by the music, and definitely we're a very lyrically story driven band, so definitely, uh, you know, we hope you enjoy the melodies and everything too. But the lyrics are really, I think, what make the songs stand out. So just expect to be taken on a story every time with every song, and hope you enjoy it and come back for more. And we're always just trying to do things that will make an impact on you as a listener, in the sense that you'll really get a lot out of our stories, our melodies, and our musicianship. So always try and do the best we can for the people that listen to our music. So
Hey,
that's what
that's a
I'd say.
great answer, and that's what it's all about. Just being open and receptive and actually paying attention to connect the dots. Um, Graham, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Please let me plug your music one more time for you.
Oh, absolutely. Please plug it as much as you want. And Austin, thank you for the interview. This was a lot of fun.
You're very welcome. Okay, for if you missed it the first time around, the song is called "Home to You," but we will have the links in the article so that you can listen and share and follow along, and obviously just stay up to date. There's so much more on the way. I assume more coming between now and the summer in some capacity,
Yeah,
and I'm excited
definitely.
for it because, like I said, this really is the music that I like and the style that I grew up on, and so I'm invested at this point. I can't wait to see what
Awesome.
happens. Graham,
I'm
thank you
so
so
happy
much
to hear that.
again. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to speak soon.
Yeah. No, thank you, Austin. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Talk later. Bye bye.
Yep.